But he has a positive attitude. Even though he can't see the glass, he believes the glass is always half full. So let's welcome Randall in his talk. You don't know someone until you have walked in their shoes. You don't know someone until you have walked in their shoes. Randall.
This is a humorous speech, so I hope to have more than a modicum of laughter from you folks, the audience. You don't know someone until you've walked in their shoes. Those words rang in my head. My dad had told me that so many times when I was young. Right now, I wish there was someone to walk in my shoes. That's what I was thinking that day. I was 27 years old, standing in front of my mirror, looking at myself. I realized my life would change. I knew I was going to face lots of new challenges. What was the problem? I had become legally bald. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and guest, you may laugh about this. You may think it's funny, but it's a real problem. I'd lost my hair, only 7 years of age. Imagine that. Now, I had become blind that same year, legally blind. I'd lost my sight, but that's just my sight. I knew about the Rehabilitation Center for the Blind and how they would help me with new skills to learn how to live as a person who was blind. But what about my hair? Where is the Rehabilitation Center for the Bald? I learned to live with my baldness and my blindness. I went into my own business at the Kennedy Space Center with my wife, Patty. We owned and operated the cafeteria right on the base. We served breakfast and lunch to the NASA engineers and even the astronauts. I remember one time an astronaut told me, Randall, if I had one of your sandwiches and a cup of coffee when I was in space, I'd never put it down. Now I know he was just referring to gravity, but still, it made me feel good. I always told him at NASA, I want to be the first blind astronaut to go into space. And when I have that big moment, the reporter's asking me, Randall Crosby, what's it like out there in space? I would say, you know, I'm kind of disappointed. The view's the same up here as it is down on Earth. But that's just me. They canceled the shuttle missions in 2012. My dreams and hopes of landing on the moon were dashed. Instead, my wife Patty and I landed in Denver, Colorado. We started a new business there. We owned and operated a cafeteria in the state capitol building. There, we served breakfast and lunch to the state senators, the reps, even Governor Hickenlooper. I tell my friends all the time, we went from serving the Space Center to serving the Spacey Senators. Yes. The Spacey Senators. I never told that to one of the senators, although Senator Randy Baumgardner would have appreciated it. Senator Baumgardner, he was a classic Colorado cowboy. He had a cowboy hat, a big black mustache, and he wore beautiful suits and cowboy boots. I can hear him right now coming down the hall, clicking in his boots, coming to my cafeteria for a cup of coffee. One day I ran into Senator Baumgardner in the hallway. Well, you know, actually, I ran into a lot of people in that hallway. Just one of the hazards of being blind. On this particular occasion, Senator Baumgardner said to me, Randall, you don't know someone until you've walked in their boots. He said it just like that. He sounded like John Wayne when he said it. Those words stuck in my head. One day we were at our cafeteria, busy as could be. It was lunchtime. The place was packed. Lots of noise, lots of conversations. But one lady's voice rang out louder than all other voices. She had a very shrill voice and she talked like this. She was making disparaging comments about her coworkers. My coworkers are rude and obnoxious. That's what she was saying. I was thinking, lady, you sound rude and obnoxious to me. I was at my talking cash register. I was ringing up the customers as I always did with my talking cash register. I took pride in the fact that I could ring up my customers as quick, if not quicker, than many of my sighted employees. I wanted to get this lady through my line and on her way out the door as quickly as possible. Now she's getting closer to me. I can feel her eyes on me and her voice directed right at me. Hey, dude.
Green.
Why are you wearing those dark sunglasses? Smoking marijuana on your brakes? That's what she said. I was pretty shocked. I was taken aback. I was at a loss for words. And that's rare for me. Just ask my wife, Patty. She'll tell you that. I chose not to retaliate with words. I chose not to be offended. I did want to tell her, well, ma'am, marijuana is known to cure blindness. Marijuana is baldness. That's what I wanted to say, but I didn't. Oh, I'm so sorry, sir. I'm sorry. I mean, well, I shouldn't have said that. All of a sudden, she's apologetic and she's stumbling over her words. I realized she had just seen my white cane propped up in the corner behind me. Now she knows I'm blind. And now it's become kind of an awkward situation. I'm sorry, sir. I shouldn't have said that. How rude. It's okay.
Yellow.
You don't need to apologize. I'm not offended, really. It's okay. I chose not to be offended. How often do we jump to conclusions and get into an argument that's not necessary? How would you have reacted? I rang her up, got her on her way out the door. A couple of my customers applauded as she left, and one lady even said, I'm glad she's gone. No, I didn't walk in her shoes that day, and she didn't walk in mine. I'm glad I didn't walk in her shoes. They're probably red heels, size 6. That's not my style. I've learned to live and even thrive with my blindness, my baldness. Well, I take it one day at a time. Where is that rehabilitation center for the bald?
Are you giving it back over to me, Randall?
Mr. Toastmaster,
Or are you looking for that rehabilitation center still?
I'm sorry. Yeah, I said Mr. Toastmaster, but you may not have heard it. Yeah.
Sorry.
I kind of got in there at the end.
Thank you. Here, let's applaud him.
Thank
Give
you.
him some. He can't hear you. All right, very good. Love Kennedy Space Center, by the way. I was there last week.
Ah,
The rocket didn't take off again.
But there's one going on Saturday.
Yeah, maybe it'll be my chance then. And
Yeah,
it's the one with
SpaceX is supposed to go off.
it's the one with the 4 astronauts.
Yeah.
All right, let's move it on to our next speaker, who